Hello and Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends. Hope you are fine and safe in this stressful situation. So, today is another amazing video of a child's 7 days of e-learning. Today is a math session and today's topic is fractions for this specific session. So, let's get started. But before we get started, I would like to ask you to please like and subscribe to our channel for more great videos like these. Also, it would be great help for us if you watch this video till the end. So let's get started. First topic of today's session is what are fractions? Actually, fractions are used to display numbers, a specific part of a number, most specifically 1, some part of the number 1. A fraction shows some specific parts of some total divisions of the number 1. On the right side, you can see a diagram which illustrates an example of a fraction. In this, there is not one whole circle which is shaded. Instead, one circle is cut out into 4 parts and out of them, 3 parts are shaded. Note that all these 4 parts are equal because fractions are equal divisions between the numbers. So, this shows that it is not a complete whole 1, but it is 3/4 of a 1. We can call this fraction 3/4 or 3/4. This is actually a fractional proportion of the circle. Next, we are moving on to the examples of some common fractions which we hear normally. 1/2, which is also called 1/2 in normal daily lives. You use this to buy things in measurement, or you can use this to count the half dollar. Next is 2/4. You can also use it for measurement and many purposes. Next is 4/6. So all these are common fractions which you use in daily lives. Next, we will move on to the parts of a fraction. Now we have to think of how many parts actually a fraction has. But before starting that, I would like to tell you one thing, that fractions actually show division between two numbers. In this, we saw 3 over 4. This shows that 3 is being divided by 4. In these examples, 1 is being divided by 2 in 1/2, 2 is being divided by 4 in 2/4, and 4 is being divided by 6 in 4/6. So, actually this shows that fraction is a division between two numbers, the number which is above the line and the number which is below the line. Actually, this line which is in the between of the two numbers is a symbol of division. This is used to show division in high school. This symbol is used in high school because it has more complicated things to deal with. Now let's get started with what are the parts of a fraction. So the fraction is divided into 4 parts, and these are very common ones. So the number which is above the line is called the numerator. This is the number of parts which are being referred to from the total parts. Now below the line is the denominator. This is the total number of parts in which the number 1 is divided into. For example, in this example, 10, 1 is being divided into 10 parts, 10 equal parts, and of them 7 parts are being referred, and this 3 here is the wholes, which is also called the 1. This shows that 3 ones are completed. That means that 30 at first this numerator was 37, and afterwards when this was cut out into wholes and fractions, then 3 became the whole because this is divisible by 10. 30 is divisible by 10. Wholes are the part of the ones which are completed of this fraction. For example, So we will discuss it later on. Let's move on. Now, types of fractions. There are three different types of fraction and all of them are very easy. First is proper fractions. Proper fractions display the fractions which are less than 1, which means that they do not have any wholes. Examples of them are 3 over 5 and 7 over 10. The fractions we saw here are proper fractions because they do not have any wholes. Now here improper fractions. Improper fractions are fractions which are more than 1, which means they have wholes. But in this, the wholes are not displayed separately like here. Instead, the wholes are multiplied by the denominator and then they are added to the numerator to form a numerator which is larger than the denominator. This is called improper fractions. Examples of these are 34 over 7 and 21 over 10. Let's move on to the third type, which is mixed fractions. So the fraction we see here in the previous topic is a mixed fraction because the whole is separated and the fraction is separated. This shows a mix-up of two different types. So this is what mixed fraction is. They have whole separated and the parts of the one separated, which are not yet a whole. This is an example of a mixed fraction, and another example is 4 wholes and 15 over 20. So we have discussed the types of fractions. Now we are moving on to simplifying fractions. Now actually, what is simplifying fractions? Simplifying fractions means reducing a fraction to its lowest terms. A fraction can be simplified when both the numerator and denominator can be divided by the same non-zero digit, and a non-zero digit is a whole number. It can be like we are dividing the numerator with a different whole number and the denominator with a different whole number. Neither can we divide them with numbers less than 0, nor can we divide them with numbers which are in between whole numbers. For example, 0 point something or 1 point something or fractions. They have to be divided by whole numbers which are actually digits. Next, a fraction can be simplified by, now what is the extent to that simplification of fractions? A fraction can be simplified until and unless both the numerator and denominator can be divided by the same whole number. That is, if we have got 20 over 10, then this can be divided by 2. And after that we will get 10 over 5, which can also be divided by 5. Then in the end we will get 2 over 1, which cannot be divided anymore, because 2 can be divided by 2 but 1 cannot be divided by 2. So simplified fractions are equal to the fractions from which they have originated. Means the actual fractions are equal to the simplified fractions. An example is given here. 15 over 20 is simplified to 3 over 4, and both of them are equal because 15 over 20 also shows 3 quarters and 3 quarters also show 3 quarters. Let's move on to how to simplify fractions. I'm just going to demonstrate it here. I've got a fraction which is 4 wholes 6 over 10. Okay, let's just make it 4 wholes 8 over 10. 4 wholes 8 over 10. Now we can't just simplify this number like this as it is right now. First we have to convert this mixed fraction into an improper fraction. In the way which I have told you, the denominator will be multiplied by the whole. These two will be multiplied and then the result of them will be added to 8. So this will make the 8 48, because 4 times 10 is 40 and 40 plus 8 is 48. So 48 over 10. Now we have to simplify it. 48 over 10 is quite easy, because the first thing we see is you have learned odd and even numbers, and you might have learned that even numbers can always be divided by 2. So the first number we can think of is 2. And remember, always think of dividing from the smallest possible number, because that will be easier for you. Larger numbers might complicate the division and you might make a mistake in it. So I always recommend using small numbers. Now it's 24 over 5. Because when we divide 48 by 2, it is 24, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, this was how to simplify a mixed fraction. Now let's just simplify improper fraction. This will be 26 over, let's make it 24, over 8. Okay, so the first number we can think of is 2. Both will be divided by 2. So this will make it 12 over 4. Now this can again be divided by 2 to make it 6 over 2. 6 over 2. Next, this can again be divided by 2 to make it 3 over 1. Now, you cannot simplify it anymore, because now 3 can be divided by 3, but 1 cannot be divided by 3, obviously. So, we will just have to stop it here. But when a fraction has 1 as the denominator, we consider it a whole number, because there is only one part of 1 which is equal to the whole one. So actually this is 3 wholes. So the answer will be 3. So I hope you have understood what are fractions, the different types of fraction, the parts of a fraction, and how to simplify fractions. Please comment in the comment section of what you like the best in the video and what will you post in the next video. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos. Stay home, stay safe, and bye, and stay tuned for updates.